Magsiupo na po ang ating mga resource persons kung naririto. Gusto ko lang makita dahil kung wala pa yung mga kinatawan ng gobyerno na iba, mahihirapan tayong mag-umpisa. Pwede pang hinaan ng aircon dito? Ang lamig, ha? Bakit wala dito si Yusek, De Leon? For sure, ha? Okay. Kundi papatawag ko na talaga siya ulit. Hello. Nandito na yung Manny Pacquiao ng LTFRB, kaya lang nilipat eh. Sayang. Alam mo, gusto ko kasi nandito na lahat bago ako mag-opening dahil magpapapresent ako. So, kailangan ko munang, basta for the record, nandito ako on time, ha. Yung mga ibang government officials natin ang medyo na late. Kunin ko na lang yung mga present. Siguro we'll be back. Anong oras na ba? Anong oras na ba ngayon? We'll be back in about 15 minutes. So review your notes. Siupo na po tayo. Today's hearing of your Senate Committee on Public Services is now called to order. Two Senate resolutions are to be considered today. Senate Resolution number 954 on the issues and controversy in relation to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, PITX, and Senate Resolution number 955 on the complaints and discontent in the trucking sector. The committee will check and assess the mandate of the DOTR and LTFRB with regard to their public services functions to help the riders, commuters, drivers, operators, the individuals and sectors comprising the transport industry. Gusto ko pong bigyan kayo ng malinaw na ideya na ng kinakaharap ng isang Pilipino sa pagpunta sa kanyang trabaho o eskwelahan sa loob ng Metro Manila. Noong November 2017, may ginawang pag-aaral ang Boston Consulting Group kung saan nakita nila na ang mga Pilipino sa Kalakhang, Maynila ay nakakaubos ng 1 oras at 6 na minuto sa traffic. Kung susumahin 16 na araw sa isang buong taon, yamot, inis at nakukonsume ang Pilipino sa trapiko sa Kalakhang, Maynila. Mahigit kumulang 100,000 ang piso ang di umano'y katumbas ng lost income opportunities. Ganito rin po ang sitwasyon ngayon. Against this backdrop, the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PITX, the first land port in the Philippines and a flagship project of the government, is established, and it is primarily to decongest traffic in Metro Manila by reducing the entry of provincial buses from Cavite and Batangas, which will terminate at the PITX location at Gustavo Macapagal Boulevard, just at the end of PITX. Passengers are expected to have a seamless travel and smooth transition from provincial buses to multiple modes of transportation into their respective destinations. 2015 na nai-award ang pagtayo ng PITX sa napiling consortium. September ngayong taon, naglabas ang LTFRB ng Memorandum Circular number 2018-20 na nagsasabing lahat ng bus, UV at jeep na papasok galing sa Coastal Road at Cavitex ay magtatapos sa PITX. 1 buwan ang nakalipas, noong Oktubre, ang DOTR bigla namang nag-issue ng Department Order number 2018-25 na ine-exempt ang higit kumulang 300 na bus. At pinapayagan ang mga ito na tumuloy pa rin papasok sa mga destinasyon sa loob ng Kalakhang, Maynila. Ang inauguration ng PITX ay ginawa noong 5 ng Nobyembre. Pagkatapos ng 2 linggo, naglabas na naman ng LTFRB ng Memorandum Circular number 2018-22 upang maimplementa ang exemption ng 300 buses ayon sa kautusan ng DOTR. The timeline will provide us possible inconsistencies and feasibility management in the issuances of DOTR and LTFRB. Mahigit 2 taon na po kayo diyan sa DOTR at LTFRB mula nang malaman ninyo ang proyekto ukol sa PITX. Bakit nitong Oktubre ninyo lang biglang naisipang palitan ang inyong polisiya o patakaran at biglang pinayagang tumuloy pasok ang Kalakhang, Maynila, ang 300 na bus? Bakit itong 300 na ito ang pinili ninyo? The sudden change in policy of DOTR and LTFRB had allegedly led to the following. Number 1, bus operators and drivers lament the reported preferential treatment to the exempted 300 buses. 2, law enforcers are confused as to which buses should terminate the routes at PITX. 3, majority of buses refuse to terminate the routes at PITX. 4, commuters' travel and waiting times became longer because of the confusion. 5, prospective lessees of commercial and office spaces at PITX backed out. And For lack of better term, nilalangaw ang PITX dahil daw walang masyadong bus at pasahero na dumadaan o humihinto dito. Ang pinakamalala sa lahat, mayroon din mga balita na nagsasabing pinalsipika ng LTFRB ang panghuling pahina ng kanilang Memorandum Circular Number 2018-22. Ayon mismo sa isang board member. Today, I hope former board member and now CSE Commissioner Lizada will crystallize the real situation in the agency involved. I would like her to narrate with full honesty the story and the issues in the discussion and let it serve the light that will best help the committee address the important matters confronting Filipino commuters, drivers, and transport sector. For the second half of this afternoon's hearing, this committee will look into which tests shall best ensure or produce safer trucks, the proposed 15-year-old test, or an honest-to-goodness, meticulous roadworthiness tests. The committee will also look into unregulated industry practices and norms in the trucking industry that reportedly creates an environment which is vulnerable to corrupt practices. Ang mga patakaran ng pagsasauli o pagbabalik ng mga walang laman na cargo containers ay ating sisiyasatin. Atin din titignan ang tinatawag na Terminal Appointment Booking System o TABS na isa skema na nagtatakda ng oras ng pasok at labas ng mga trucks sa mga pier o ports. Magtatanong din tayo sa kung bakit walang uniform standard or uniform calibration sa pagtitimbang ng mga truck at mga kargamento nito. All the aforementioned unregulated aspects of trucking, among others, had allegedly resulted in unfair and unjust practices that prey hard on truckers who are allegedly forced to pay unreasonable and even hefty fines to ensure the timely delivery of their cargoes to their clients. Ang mga gastos na ito ay sa kalaunan maaaring na ipapatong sa presyo ng mga bilihin na siya namang pagbabayaran ng mga kababayan nating kukonsumo sa mga produktong ito. Kailangan natin magkaroon ng kaayusan sa sektor ng trucking at tanggalin ang mga walang kabuluhang aberya, congestion, traffic at gastusing magpapahirap sa mga consumers. With that, I would like to acknowledge our resource persons today. Let me begin with who's the highest ranking? I guess Mr. De Leon. Introduce yourself again, please, for the record, and then the rest, if you can follow.
I'm Mark De Leon, OIC Undersecretary for Road Transportation, Department of Transportation.
I'm Patrick Manuel Gonzalez, the Head of Interagency Council for Traffic.
Martin Delga, the third Chairman, LTFRB.
I'm Edgar Galvante, LTO.
Eileen Lizada, still board member, mamaya pa ako mag-take oath. Yes, I am still a board member. I believe he knows how I work, ma'am. That's why siguro nasa CSE ako.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Crisanto Saruca Jr., MMDA, OIC for Legal and Legislative Affairs Staff.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Victor Pablo Trinidad, Head Executive Assistant Office of the Chairman, MMDA.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Mariano Arroyo, General Manager for the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or MWM Terminals.
Good afternoon, Chairman. I'm Jason Torres. I'm Head Corporate Affairs for MWM and Megawide.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Attorney Marsalud of Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange as Transport Marketing Manager.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Nestor Martinez, President of Cavite Bus Operator Association.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Attorney Mayo from the Cavite Bus Operators.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Romel Manalo, Chairman of Cavite Batangas Transport Service Cooperative.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Eddie Takdeng of PIWAP. Thank you. PIWAP po. Provincial Bus Operators Association of the Philippines.
Okay, maraming salamat. Hihilingan ko po kayo na tumayo para manumpa po muna bago tayo mag-umpisa.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Thank you. Your Honor, for the record, all those who took their oath answered in the affirmative.
Sige, siguro umpisahan natin para maliwanagan na meron tayong tema na pupuntahan. DOTR, dun po sa pagdating dito sa PITX at saka yung mga bosses, yung sitwasyon nila, do you have an opening statement or a presentation?
Ma'am, in behalf of DOTR, the DOTR prepared that department order, no? It was signed by Secretary Tugade last October 2018. That's the Department Order 2018-25. And just to correct the numbers, ma'am, it was actually 195 buses, not 300. It's 195 buses who were converted to become city routes instead of the previous provincial route. So if we can explain in context the logic of that department order, I have a short presentation. Sige.
So this came out, this department order came out when?
That's October 12. October 12.
Okay.
So at least a month before the opening of the PITX. At least a month. So just forward. So this is the context of that department order, Madam Chair. This is data, actual data from satellite images coming from international studies. This shows the urban conglomeration of previously of Metro Manila and now being considered as the greater Metro Manila area. So we can see here, no, the urban sprawl of Metro Manila. Previously, Metro Manila is only considered as Intramuros area, yun yung Manila area. But because of urbanization, because of the economic growth of Metro Manila, kailangan lumabas na yung mga commuters natin. Those living in Metro Manila are forced to go out of Metro Manila, get housing outside of Metro Manila. Araw-araw silang nagko-commute, coming from Cavite, coming from San Pedro, Laguna, coming from the north, Bukawi, Bulacan. Yan po yung nangyari dito sa growth ng Metro Manila. So, yung kitang-kita sa ating mapa, itong growth na yan. The red line, as you can see, the red spaces are the urban conglomeration, the heat map of these urban growth areas outside of Metro Manila, which we now call as the greater Metro Manila area. Next slide, please. And rightfully so, JICA, in their urban transport roadmap study prepared for NEDA, also identified these urban growth areas outside of Metro Manila and considered them as part of the greater Metro Manila area. So malinaw po na itong mga lugar na yan considered talaga as commuter areas. Kitang-kita this map was specifically prepared by JICA for their roadmap study done in 2015. Next slide. And this same data shows the origin destination trip patterns of Metro Manila, of people working, doing schooling, doing studies inside Metro Manila, but originating outside of Metro Manila. JICA prepared that very comprehensive Metro Manila urban transport study way back in 1990s and again reiterated in 2015 when they did the MUSEP study. So ito po very clearly shows the origin destinations of people living in Metro Manila, working in Metro Metro Manila but living at the outskirts of Metro Manila. We have a transportation database that shows the volumes. So yung mga surveyors po ng JICA back then wrote the jeepneys, wrote the buses, wrote the UV Express, counted the vehicles inside of Metro Manila and outside of Metro Manila. Pinapakita po in that data yung origin and destination patterns of the greater Metro Manila area. So ito, pinapakita po dito in that study yung ganun pong konsepto. And kitang-kita po natin yung bigat ng origin and destination dito nga sa loob ng Metro Manila. Next slide. And the same report, JICA, yun yung pinapakita niyan, clearly shows, no, yung mga origin destination patterns na yan. For example, if you can clearly identify yung mga areas, like yung Cavite area, yung Tagaytay area at the bottom, pinaka-bottom area na yan, it doesn't have a clear connection, a clear demand line going inside of Metro Manila. Yung linya niya, manipis. Yun po yung volume ng pasahero na papasok ng Metro Manila. Kung nakikita niyo po yung NAIC area, wala lang pong label yan. The NAIC area goes to Cavite, goes to Kawit. Wala po siyang clear na demand going inside Metro Manila. Bakit? Kasi yung mga NAIC area, nandyan yung mga industrial zones, yung peso zones natin. So meaning, yung demand niya, NAIC himself is the magnet and not Metro Manila per se. So kitang-kita po sa demand lines niyan. Ito, this is not the OTR who prepared this study. This is JICA who prepared the study, prepared and submitted to NEDA as part of that roadmap study. Kitang-kita naman po natin yung reference. So this completely shows yung pinapakita natin na travel demand patterns na yan. And also, if you can see...
Yusek, maabala lang kita sandali ha. Kasi, yung pinapakita mo sa akin, yung mga demand areas na hindi masyado, kunyari, yung mga nasa... Yung mga ano ba to, yung mga processing zone or
Yes,
yung mga techno parks, no, techno hubs. Pero kasi, ang pakay natin ngayon ay yung terminal, kaya nandyan, is to decongest EDSA, di ba? So, hindi naman natin concern pa masyado yon. At alam naman ninyo yan, yung study that you're citing, JICA, already said from the onset na nandun talaga, there are about I guess the capacity is 1,000 buses per day nga kasi nga we are anticipating about 200,000 passengers or more. So you knew that already coming in. And nung September, sinabi nga ninyo, everything will commence and end in PITX. That's just September 13. And then October, biglang binawi ninyo, nag-exempt kayo. So, ang tanong natin, bakit nagpalit ang isip ninyo bigla na mga kondisyon na hindi ninyo alam noon o alam ninyo pero hindi ninyo naisip kaagad, ba't nagpalit ang isip ninyo?
During discussions with the team and even Megawide, we saw that kapag pinutol lahat yung provincial buses in PITX, there's not enough supply of city buses going inside Loton area. For example, if we cut Marinas, if we cut Bacoor, if we cut Imus, hindi yan kakayanin ng existing city bus going inside Loton. And that is what is happening now. We saw a lot of commuter demand na natigil sila dun sa area na yan dahil nga insufficient yung city bus operations going inside Loton. And that is the bulk. Yes, ba?
That is your analysis. Kulang. Hindi niyo nalaman ito until naging operational. Di ba naging operational? Teka, di ba November kayo nag-inaugurate?
Yes, ma'am.
So, bago ba nag-inauguration, meron ng operations?
We are running in dry run mode po, ma'am. Hanggang ngayon, dry run mode pa rin ang operations ng PITX. Meaning, inaaral pa rin namin kung ano talaga yung commuter patterns ng mga tao, inaaral natin kung ano yung behavior ng mga tao. So, until now, it's still in dry run phase, ma'am.
Okay. I would like to ask Mega Wide, no? Hindi muna statement ninyo, did you have a dry run prior to the opening that made them come up with a new department order?
Ma'am, no, ma'am. Essentially, the dry run, the official dry run started after, if I'm not mistaken, after the inauguration.
So there was none?
None.
So how did you determine that there was not enough buses?
Kitang-kita po kasi sa number of units. Before that meeting, we talked with Megawide and we specifically asked them the number of units. For example, PITX Loton. Walang bus na magsuservice ng PITX Loton. Ang meron is Alabang Loton. Kapag dumaan sila ng PITX yan, punong-puno na po sila ng pasahero. So it's not possible for that bus service to cater for the demand of PITX. Yung mga bababa, galing Bacoor, galing Imus, Dasmariñas, hindi yan enough to service for that demand. So, yun yung po yung pinaka-loton yan. And this Bacoor, Imus, and Dasmariñas Loton route, yan po yung pinaka-heavy na pasahero going inside Loton.
Okay.
So, yun yung
that is the claim of the DOTR. I would like to get an opinion later with regards to if there's really a shortage of city buses. But continue with your presentation. I'll just tell you to skip if I feel that we don't need to delve on that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, basically, ma'am, go ahead. Next.
Tama na yung mga
Next.
urban sprawl.
So, ito lang, just one more department order. Last 1991, ito was already released by DOTC back then, saying yung mga city buses natin, may mga terminal yan sa loob ng EDSA. And in order yan, during that time, 1991, na maglabas na sila ng kanilang mga terminal sa labas ng Metro Manila. So meaning, yung mga bus terminals natin, pinapalabas na sa EDSA. Very clearly, ma'am, na ang pinapakita dito, in-establish natin yung ITX. Not because of provincial buses per se, but tinatanggal po natin yung mga provincial terminals outside of Metro Manila. Yan po yung konteksto ng ITX. Hindi po problema yung provincial bus, but ang problema po natin tinatanggal is yung mga provincial bus terminals. Yung activity po kasi ng provincial bus terminals, yan po yung nagkakatagdag ng problema sa ating traffic. Yung local po nila.
Hindi po yan totoo rin. Alam mo bakit? Kasi kasama doon, alisin yung mga terminals dito sa loob ng EDSA, no? Pero kasama rin doon na mabawasan na hindi naman din pumapasok yung mga provincial buses. Bakit? Why are you twisting the history here?
No, ma'am. I'm saying, ma'am, the problem is yung activity ng provincial bus terminals. That's the problem. Yung most involved nila, yun yung nakakadagdag sa traffic.
That's one of the problem.
Yes, that's one of the problem.
But it's not the only one. And one of them is also the influx of provincial buses. Now, I'd like to get this clear. I want it to be a safe and convenient ride for our passengers. But we also have to look at certain aspects. For example, ayaw natin malugi din yung mga provincial buses. Okay? So, meron naman sila talagang designated stops at ang pwedeng gawin, ang dapat kasi ginawa din ng LTFRB, yung fare matrix ninyo, inayos na ninyo bago pa lang nito na-implement para yung mga titigil lang sa PITX, syempre mababawasan yung pamasahe dyan dahil may connecting pa. Hindi pa ninyo ginagawa yan, no? Meron na bang fare matrix, sir?
Insofar as the good morning, ma'am. Insofar as the fare matrix is concerned, kung saan man titigil actually yung pasahero, whether it be an endpoint or a midpoint, malalaman na ng pasahero kung magkano yung pamasahe.
Hindi po yun Pero ang sinasabi ko, kung dati ikaw pasahero ka, nakakadiretso ka, kunyari, Baclaran o kung saan man galing sa south, tapos ngayon, titigil ka sa PITX, tapos ang bayad mo pareho pa rin. Hindi naman nabawasan eh.
If that is the statement, that should not be the case. Kasi
Yeah,
nga nabawasan
what's
na
their
yung-
guide, di ba? What's their guide? There should be a guide na from this point to this point, this is how much. So that they're not burdened with an additional fare that will, that's obviously for another route, di ba? Parang, wala pa kayo nun, di ba?
As we have said earlier, ma'am, it's actually, when you look at the origin destination, wherever a passenger of a bus would stop, take the bus and stop, depending on the distance, you would be able to know already how much you're supposed to pay. But perhaps we will take the suggestion of the good senator that we will have that fare matrix for the guidance of everybody.
That's the point. Yeah, thank you, Chairman. That it'll be para hindi, kasi syempre, distance, let's say 4 kilometers, ito yung babayaran ninyo. Pag ganito, how many more kilometers? Para they can see that even if they don't go straight and they have to ride another one, they will have to pay just the same in fares. Okay, next. Any more? Kasi I have a question for you. Ayan lang. Okay, ito ngayon yung tanong ko ha. Paano nyo naisip na i-exempt yung 195 buses? Bakit sila yung napili ninyo? At sino-sino tong mga bus companies na to?
When DOTR made that department order, hindi talaga tiningnan kung sino man yung bus operators operating in that area. And that's the honest declaration that we will make. When Secretary ordered that department order, hindi tiningnan kung sino man yung bus operators na affected dyan. Ang tiningnan lang is yung mga ruta, ang tiningnan lang yung mga origin destinations ng mga pasahero. So never did we know kung ilang number ng buses yung mga covered under that city bus conversion. We ordered LTFRB to look into that matter. So si LTFRB ngayon, yung binigay ng instruction para tingnan kung sino man yung mako-convert according to that general policy, which is convert into city bus operations the areas coming from Bacoor, Dasmariñas, Imus, Cavite City, Kawit. Yun po yung pinaka order ng secretary namin.
Pero actually, yung mga pinili mong lugar na yun yung pinaka-densely populated.
Yes, that's...
So, ang ibig sabihin, patay na talaga yung PITX. Wala nang gustong dumaan dyan. At kung ako ay bus operator or bus driver, maiinis ako na bakit ito exempted, ako hindi. So, anong gagawin namin ngayon? Aba, hindi na nga masabi ng enforcement kung sino talaga yung mga buses dito na legal. Dire-diretso na tayo. Wala na talaga papatayin nyo ngayon ng PITX. Ngayon, hindi sa kumakampi ako dyan. Okay? Ang punto ko lang, kaya nga ito ginawa para mamodernisa at maging mailagay sa ayos ang pagsakay ng ating mga pasahero. Kung gaganin ninyo, may mga exemption, imbis na magdagdag kayo ng city buses na talagang sa city lang dumadaan, ano bang klase yan? Okay, before I go deeper into the questions with regards to this, I would like to ask, this is going to be the sequence, if LTFRB has a short opening, and then I'll ask MMDA if they're here, their take on this, and then gusto ko marinig din yung LTFRB. I'd like to hear, actually, aside from the chairman, I'd like to hear also board member Lizada. So, LTFRB, let me begin with you. Do you have anything to add, sir? An opening?
I don't have any opening statement. I will just take the questions.
Okay. Fair enough, attorney. Thank you. Attorney Lizada, would you have something, an opening or a presentation for us?
May I be allowed to do a presentation?
Sure. Paki-cue po yung presentation kung meron dyan.
May I start, ma'am? just like what you said a while ago, LTFRB during the time of Yusek Orbos issued MC 2018-020. This is in keeping with Department Order 2017-011, which is the Omnibus Franchising Guidelines, where all provincial UV public jeepneys will originating from the provinces south to end at PITX. MC 2018-020 sa Ulog Transit to end at PITX. Next. Jasper Jean shall be extended to PITX. All city buses shall be extended to PITX to facilitate the transfer of passengers. And then the CPCs of these PUVs shall be deemed amended or shortening their routes to PITX. This is the MC. If you look at the MCs that I sign, you will see my initials in all important documents. This is the safety measure that I put. And the date when I signed. So please take note of this MC with my initial on this page and with my signature on the second page. This is from the data given to us by ISMD. Ito ho ang lahat. Dapat na dumaan ng mag-ending ng PITX. Ito po yon. Go back. Next. MC 2018 is consistent with OFG, particularly 7.4, where it provides all provincial routes as designated by the approved, even if there is no approved LPTRP, ma'am, ginawa na ito, all provincial routes bound for Metro Manila shall have destinations only up to the integrated transportation terminals. If you check Megawatt's concessionaire agreement between government, kinakailangan hong meron tayong terminal schedule approved by LTFRB. As a member of the board, I have not seen the approved terminal schedule. Ito ho, dapat meron ito para hindi ho tayo nagkakaloko-loko sa mga schedules ng mga bus. Alam ho, dapat natin ang dating at ang alis ng mga buses. Today, paalis na ho ako, wala pa rin ho tayo approved terminal schedule. This is in the concessionaire agreement between government and Megawatt. Next. Now comes DO 25, issued 12 October 2018. What does the DO, the highlights of the DO? Rob. The DO converts some provincial operations to city operations. Ang kinokontest ko dito ay ang letter B. Next slide. The DO, some provincial buses converted into city operations will no longer be required to terminate at ITX. LTFRB will allow some of the buses to bypass their designated ITX. All other provincial routes to end at ITX. Who are exempted? What are the exempted routes and who are the operators? Ito po. I highlight St. Anthony. I highlight Urjan, South Point, St. Anthony belong to one operator. Ito po ang mga Santiaguel. More or less, 93 buses po ang exempted sa kanila. The bus company's bus operator allowed to bypass. Ito po yung iba rin. Ang iba, 1, 4. Jasper Jean is there. Sa Ulog is 20. I might have my numbers wrong as they say it's 190 plus. The following routes are to end at PITX. Ma'am, I gave you a folder in your, next slide. If you look at the red, yan po ay ang allowed to bypass PITX. Blue must end at PITX. General Trias, Dasmariñas, and Silang. Tatlo ho yan, ang operator ay isa lang, Santiaguel. Dito po, ang pasahero 13 Marias, dinadala ho yan sa General Trias, from there, papunta ho dyan, and pababa na to Metro Manila. So nagtataka yung 13 Martires, bakit sila ay hindi exempted? At bakit ito, if you look at the area, meron yung tatlo inside the area of those who must end. Bakit itong tatlo hindi pinapa-end? Next. November 5, na-inaugurate ang PITX. November 5, nagpatawag po na si Chairman Delga ng special board meeting kasi kailangan naming ripasuhin ang MC020 to conform DO25. So tapos na po ang inauguration, doon pa ho kami nagre-revise. November 5. Come November 6, a day after the inauguration, my office received the initial draft of the MC. I requested for a dialogue with the stakeholders. November 7, a special board meeting was called at 3 p.m. I consulted Soluboa, Southern Luzon Bus Operators Association, and the Provincial Bus Operators Association of the Philippines, and I asked them if they were aware of DO25. Hindi ho sila aware, hindi rin ho sila nakonsulta. So, an hour before the special board meeting, I met with Soluboa. Ito po yung letter nila because they wanted clarifications on the said DO. And the next is a text message from PBOAP. Dapat pag-usapan muna ng maayos. Lalong lalaki ang problema sa traffic kapag hindi pinag-usapan ng maigi. Pag-usapan po muna ng maigi para maging maayos ng pantay-pantay para sa lahat, mahirap at mayaman. On the same day, I issued the memorandum to Secretary Togade, November 7, requesting that the board to conduct a consultation and dialogue before we issue the MC. Next. During the special board meeting, I insisted to hold the cutting of routes and instead conduct a dialogue because during that board meeting, we were supposed to cut routes already. November 6, nakatanggap na ho ako ng MC and I insisted, this is the routing slip ho namin within the office. Let us have our consultation with Soluboa before we make this MC. Consultation first. Next. November 8, nagkaroon ho ng consultation and you will see Mr. Manalo and Attorney Mayo raising all their concerns. Ma'am, this was November 8. Next slide. Come November 9, meron akong draft ng MC. So my concern was, nasabihan ba si Secretary about the concerns ng mga operators? Bakit a day after, meron na kaming draft? Next, November 10, text of Chairman to the Board Viber Group. We are now directing all buses on Southwest City to pass through the province, to end there sa PITX. Let's have it out by Monday, November 12. Next. The DOTR operationalization of PITX. Now they say it's dry run. But in the DOTR communication group on November 10, ngayong araw, ika-10 ng Nobyembre 2018, ganap nang nagsimula ang operasyon ng PITX. My text to the Board Viber Group, how come naka-press release na ang DOTR, wala pa tayong MC? What is happening? Next. The first draft of the MC came to my office. I received it from the office of ED. Please take note, signed na po ni Chairman Delga and ni Board Member Corpus. The protocol is Board Member muna ng technical, then Board Member muna ng legal, kasi I might see some things that are legal in nature, and then the Chairman. Ang nangyari ho, dalawa na ho nakasign bago dumating sa akin. Timeline, November 15, I forwarded a copy of the MC with my dissenting opinion to ED at 3:30. Again, please look. This is Paul, the staff of ED. My initial is there. Another initial is there. This is the receiving copy ng office namin. Third page. And this is my dissenting opinion. Each page is initial. Date of signing is 11/15/18. It is present. And the name of Paul signed the received copy on the same date. Please take note, all initials on the same pages. Next. The Omnibus Franchising Guideline says, if there is any exemption, kailangan ho unanimous ang ruling ng board. So MC 022, dalawa lang po sila ay dissented. Next. 227 November 21, acting on instructions of Chairman Delgra, E.D. Hardin hand-carried the documents to my office. Ito ho, that's the note na pinalagay ko sa staff ko in the routing slip. And then I said, I maintain my stand as posted in the first MC dated 11/15/18. Next. This po was my last action sa MC 020. Yan ho, ang ginawa ko sa MC 022, I'm sorry. Note the lines placed on the top of my name. Ako ho ang naglagay niyan. This was my last action on the second draft of MC 2018-022. Yan ho. Next. 3 emails were sent to Philippine Star. First email, November 21 at 5:22. Second email, November 22 at 8:58. Ito po yung board meeting namin at 3 p.m. na naka-email na po sila sa 8:58 that same day. Third email, November 23. Next. These are the emails po. The first email, go. Second email, ito na po yung na-change na ho nila, yan. But look at what they did on the third page. Di ba ho, dalawang cross lines lang nilagay ko doon? Why is my dissenting opinion? Next po. Next. November 22, second email. November 22, board meeting. That was when I learned, sa siningitan ninyo ako, the third page is not the third page of the MC that I reviewed and dissented to. I strongly suggested to the board to withdraw from Philippine Star and UP Law Center the falsified document. Next. I did due diligence and I asked admin, kayo ba ang source ng email to Philippine Star? Ang sagot, the subject MC has been amended outright last night upon the instructions of chairman due to a major correction on the second page, numbers 3 and 4. Please. Yan po ang exchanges namin ng admin. Next. I ask again, penging copy, certified true copy na nasa UP Law Center. Ang sagot, kinuha po ni chairman lahat ng original 4 copies with annexes po sa akin kanina. Si Sir Ray po ang pumunta sa UP para ipa-receive. This is our exchange. Next. I asked for a narrative how it happened, yung change, because it happened sa gabi after the MC left my office. Next. Noong 21 November, 7 to 8 p.m. with the presence of Ma'am Joanne and Attorney Hardin, he is our ED, they edited the second page of MC 2018-022 with the instruction of Chairman Delgra. Ito po yon, sulat ng admin sa akin. I wrote Goddess Libiran, the director of Comms Group, and I asked her, are you aware that the third page, because sila ko nag-accuse sa akin na malicious document ang nilalabas ko. So my question is, are you aware that the third page belonged to another MC? The reason why they're putting a gag order on me, ma'am, is that they want unity in messaging, DOTR and LTFRB. But when it comes po sa pagtatakip ng mga mali, ay talagang hindi ako papayag sa unity in messaging. I will always speak up the truth. Just like the hearing kanina, DOTR said walang hearing, and then the other said merong hearing. I'm not the cause of the confusion. Next. I issued a memo to Chairman Delgra, and I asked him, the first MC was what I reviewed and dissented to. The second MC, as it was made to appear, nilagay yung third page ko doon sa second MC. I gave him the opportunity to rectify the situation by officially withdrawing the MC from the UP Law Center and Philippine Star with a public statement clarifying the situation. Next. I also issued a memorandum to ED I asked him, how can you attest twice to a different document? One document you attested, the other same attestation. How can you attest to both? Next. I say MC 2018-022 is a falsified document, the one that they sent to UP and to Philippine Star. Ito po, meron akong receive ng UP. Where are my initials? Wait, go back please, Rob. Where are my initials here? Where? It's not there. Next. And ang dapat doon nandito ay yung sana silang dalawa na lang ang nag-sign at nilabas nila yung ni-inex ko. Pero kinabit pa rin nila yung dissenting ko dito, but this was not the document that I reviewed and dissented to. Next. Compare the first MC, the falsified MC. That's my initial. Next page. That's my initial. There's no initial. Third page. This is my dissenting. Yan ang last action ko sa MC22. Next. For the record, M. Lizana was not the one who issued a malicious document as alleged by DOTR LTFRB. As far as I am concerned, it is MC 2018-020 that is still operative po. Thank you.
Wow, this is quite an allegation, if you will. It's a shocker if that's true. For the record, BM Lazada, you were presenting us timelines, dates, and memorandum circular, but apparently the page that was replaced, no? Is page 2 ba? Yung sinasabi pinalitan nila?
Page 3, ma'am. It belonged to another document. They placed it to MC 022 po. Iba ang ni-review ko, ma'am.
Okay. So why didn't, ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng mga dokumento na to na dissenting ka talaga? I mean, na hindi ka pumayag na pirmahan ang 022?
022, in my dissenting, I said, it appears that there is manifest partiality to some bus operators, causing undue injury to other bus operators in the amount of lost income nila. So that falls under 3019, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Also, MC 022 says effective immediately. I raised Section 2, Article 2 of Civil Code and Administrative Code, and I said, kailangan ho ng 15-day publication because they wanted it immediately. Yun po.
Okay. So for the record, Attorney Rizada, do you think that, are you saying now that Chairman Delgra falsified this signature in your document?
I am under oath and I say yes.
Chairman Delgra, your answer to that.
I am under oath and I absolutely deny the malicious allegation.
Chairman, how can you explain, it's clear that she initialized every single page and then all of a sudden you submit a document without her initials. And bakit mo kinuha yung ano ba yun, all 4 original copies? Ano nangyari yon, sir?
This is a 5 peso coin. It has 2 sides of the same coin. If that is what she alleged, there's another side of the same story that came out. It just so happened that she's prepared to come out before this body. Obviously, I will just take up the pertinent questions, the pertinent issues that she has raised, so that I'll be clarified as well. I hope the good senator will bear me out as well, the time given to board member Lisada.
Of course, by all means. I mean, you take as much time as you need. I really think that if you have, if you're presenting the truth, then it shouldn't be a problem. It's good to come prepared. You mean you didn't think she was going to raise this in this hearing?
I thought about it, but not as detailed as this.
Okay. Go ahead with
Even
what you have.
including those notes coming from the admin clerk. Because I've talked to the admin clerk as well.
Okay.
And it will not be fair to all of them who have been dragged into this controversy to have, for one reason or another, being allegedly used or taken advantage by this representation. That's the least that should ever happen to the office of the LTFRB. We work with a clear conscience insofar as the LTFRB is concerned.
Okay, go ahead and explain, sir.
Okay. First, on the issue of the MC, where will I start? I'll start off with MC20. I think there is no issue there. It was unanimously approved by the 3 members. And then came DO25. A department order, as we all know, is a policy statement. And when there is a policy dictated by a cabinet member, the line agency concerned will carry out that policy. And in the case of LTFRB, that is what we did. Okay. Notwithstanding the strong opinions of Commissioner Lisada. Now, in the true that there were two drafts that were prepared. I would just try to shorten the whole thing and skip the little details that will drag us down insofar as having to understand the essentials. The first draft is what was shown earlier, where on the 3rd page was her signature as well as the handwritten notes, as well as what is peculiar was the pasted dissenting opinion on the last page. In fact, it surprised me that a dissenting opinion is not attached to is not on a separate statement or a separate page, but attached to the main document itself. But probably she has something to say about that later if she wants to. But nevertheless, we took it. And then it took some time for us to amend it. And in fact, if I may be a bit candid, the Secretary has been following up on the MC. No? And that's the reason why I said there are some issues within LTFRB. And that's one of the issues that I have raised with the Secretary. No? And obviously, we need to resolve it. And eventually, Board Member Corpus and I thought that we cannot even ascertain as to the basis of her saying, ano sinabi niya rito? That it violates Section 3 of Republic Act 1319. And so we thought it wise that we are going to amend certain provisions, and more particularly the last 2 paragraphs of the 2nd page of a revised draft. And so what happened was, in the presence of Board Member Corpus, I instructed Executive Director Hardin to go to the office of Board Member Lisada and to talk to her about a second, meaning a revised draft. And the instruction was, if she agrees, she signs on the last page. If she does not agree and maintains her objection, the last page of the initial draft will remain as it is. And that's precisely why MC22, as it came about, the last page was with her original signature and her original marginal notes. Ang ibig ko sabihin, ma'am, ganito. Para klaruhin ko na lang. It may be a little bit graphic. For example, ito yung 3 pages, initial draft, na meron na yung pirma niya, meron na siyang marginal notes. Tapos, meron din tayong another revised draft. And what was changed only, and that's precisely what was emphasized, the whole document was sent to our office, and what was emphasized by Executive Director Hardin was the change was on the second page. And so what was asked of her was, Ma'am, this is a revised draft. The revision was on the second page. We would ask you whether you would agree. If you agree, you sign on the third page. If you don't, and if you still maintain your objection, then we will retain the third page with her signature and her marginal notes. Nothing was changed on the first and on the last page. I say nothing. The revision was only on the last two paragraphs of the second page, as shown on that slide over there. And so, in her routing slip, as mentioned, she wrote in her own handwriting, I maintain my stand as posted in the first MC. With that, nothing was changed except the second. And therefore, based on what was told to her, we had it, the last page of the first draft was transferred to the second draft, as well as, in fact, she was informed as on that score. So that's what happened insofar as MC.
First MC na lumabas,
Wala pong ibang revision except the second page.
ano ba yung revision dun sa second page na iba? Ano nga, Attorney Lizada, ano ba yung second page na yun na dinagdag nila?
If I may,
Dun sa, okay, Chairman Delgra,
to quote the last two paragraphs of the second page, all city routes as defined in their franchise emanating Cavite shall pass through PITX before proceeding to their endpoints in Metro Manila. Number 4, considering that Saulog transit endpoints are considered interregional routes, regions 3 and 4, which pass through Metro Manila, Saulog Transit, Cavite City to Olongapo City shall stay in the meantime until further study by DOTR LTFRB, but shall pass through PITX. If I may just have an asterisk on this, based on what was told to us regarding Saulog, this appears to be a special franchise that was issued long time ago, which serves the two military installations in Cavite City and in Olongapo City. And since it is a bit, if I may say, peculiar insofar as Saulog is concerned, because unlike all routes emanating from wherever, southwest, Batangas, or Cavite, everyone or everything will end up somewhere in Metro Manila. Not like Saulog Transit, which ends up all the way up to Olongapo. So basically, Saulog travels across three regions. Regions 4, NCR, and on towards Region 3. And that's precisely why we're taking exception to Saulog, but subject to a study, because we need to understand that insofar as because it's not like the rest of the routes that are affected either under MC20 or MC22.
Ma'am?
And then, well, insofar as hindi ko na alam kung saan ako pupunta doon sa mga sinasabi niya. Insofar as yung sinasabi niyang kung sino yung mauna, kasi may legal at may technical. Actually po, Executive Order 202, wala pong sinasabing technical at legal members ng board. Wala po.
Basta lang board member. Pero, kailangan, kung sa mga decision, hindi ba dapat unanimous? There are times when dapat unanimous yung decision.
Yes, but it is on the basis of having to discuss it, whether or routed it, and then at the end of the day, if there is at least 2 members of the board who's going to decide, that would be good enough for a decision of the board.
How about in this particular case? Would 2 be sufficient? O dapat 3 miyembro ang...
Good point, ma'am. The reason why it took a while that MC22, because there was a mention of unanimity, because it's an exemption to the OFG, we actually have sought an exemption from the DOTR and for which we were able to get an exemption.
Okay. So what you're saying is you're trying to implement a policy of the DOTR, but you have to hurdle first a technicality, a regulation that says for certain decisions it has to be unanimous. And you were able to get an exemption also from DOTR so that their own policy that they want will be approved. I mean, I see some, I think, conflict of interest eh. Siyempre, gusto ng DOTR pa-approve yan, policy nila yan, pero the responsibility also of LTFRB, because you are an arm under the DOTR, is to see if in the ground it is actually practical, if it is doable, and they should also respect your decision. Now, I didn't realize that Saulog, no, will go from south to north, that they have that route. Okay, that could probably be a consideration. I'm not saying it's correct, but there are also other buses that were exempted. That's not necessarily with the same situation. So, Attorney Rizada, pasensya na kasi parang nakita ko yung presentation ninyo. Sabi mo, pumayag ka sa unang MC, di ba?
MC 020, we were unanimous, ma'am.
Okay, yun yung kay Yusek Orbos pa
Yes,
dati.
ma'am.
So, ang sinasabi mo na, I take exception, I only agreed to the first MC, you're referring to that?
020, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the one that you do not agree to is what MC? 022.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Kasi dun sa 22, ano yung eksakto na dagdag? Yun ba yung binasa po ni Chairman?
In 022, we are now giving others the advantage of being able to enter Metro Manila while the rest pinuputol ho natin sa PITX.
Na-mention ba kung anong mga bus lines yon?
Ma'am, it's in the folder I gave you.
Okay, so aside from Saulog, may mga iba pa?
Pero yung majority, ma'am, would be yung Santiago, yung
ito yon.
tatlong bus companies, Urjang and Almark, South Point Carrier Bus, St. Anthony of Padua. 93 buses po sa kanila ho yun. And then Saulog has 20, Jasper Jean has 5, and then the rest ho ay 1, 4, 2, yun ho.
Okay, so yun ang hindi mo, in short, in your opinion, the first MC is correct. All buses
Yes, ma'am.
Should end at PITX. Yun ang sinasabi ninyo.
Yes, ma'am.
So, ano ba yung, pakibasa nga for the record, kasi liit ng writing ninyo doon eh. Ano ba yung sinasabi mong exemption, parang yung, dun sa signature mo, meron kang nilagay. Pakibasa nga anong sinulat nyo doon.
Opinion? Are you referring to the dissenting opinion?
Marginal note, yes. Kasi kami ganun din dito eh. Pag meron kami pipirmahang bill, tapos sabihin namin, but subject to interpellation or amendment.
It's quite short. Yung sinasabi ho nila, ma'am, yung sinasabi ho nila, I just want to clarify, yung 2 out of 3. Just like what happened ho kahapon, at 9:32 a.m., I received 3 copies of the board resolution for the lowering of the fare hike. Sorry, just para makita nila what's happening inside LTFRB. I received 3 copies of the reduction of fare. I wrote my comment. At 10 a.m., I sent it to OAD with my comments. And then afternoon, lumabas na ho sila ng board resolution without my signature, and I knew it was still being reviewed. Ganun ho yung nangyayari sa loob.
Hindi, gusto talaga natin bumaba yung presyo ng pamasahe, pero dapat may public hearing.
Yes.
Para makita rin natin yung note ng mga drivers na pag medyo tumaas na naman yung dapat mabilis ang action, di ba, ng
Respect the
adjustment.
process. Respect
Oo.
the process.
So in short, you were, what concerned you was there was no public hearing.
Are we going to take up another matter?
No, sir.
Because I'm
please.
going to take it up with her now, if that is what she wants.
Chairman,
I'm sorry, but I have...
Yes, you better be sorry because this is a public hearing. I can discuss anything that pertains to your department. And it supports also the claims that she's making that sometimes certain processes are being railroaded. So if I have to reference to any of your past actions, I will, and I have the authority to do so. Go ahead, please.
May I read? The MC gives some back operators an unwarranted benefit, advantage, and preference through manifest partiality, causing undue injury to several bus operators, quantifiable to their respective loss of income due to the shortening of the respective routes as reflected in their respective certificates of public convenience.
Yan yung sinulat mo sa gilid, yung marginal mo?
I cannot sign this MC as it violates Section 3E RA 3019, Section 2 of the Civil Code, and Section 4 of EO 292.
Okay, so I think that's pretty clear. I don't know why they would attach that to something with that clear dissenting opinion, right? Isn't it in conflict?
I reviewed a different document to what they were saying that I reviewed, fully reviewed. Also, ma'am, I pasted it here because sometimes yung dissenting opinion ko po ay hindi na pinapublish sa dyaryo. That's why nilagay ko na ho dito para hindi nila ma-separate.
Ngayon, attorney, ganito we will examine both claims. We have yours, we also have Chairman Delgras that went through the process. No, I will give you a chance, sir. When it comes to the falsification of documents, are you planning to file a case with regards to this?
Ma'am, I need to discuss with my lawyer.
Okay, because this is your option. Because for us, we will have to look deeper into this to see if perhaps there's really that action, no? Kasi now I'm taking your word for I see the logic in what you're saying. I also see, well, Chairman Delgra claims that's not the case because you were informed. Am I correct, sir? So it's I wouldn't say he said, she said, but I want to be very cautious about this. But I thank both of you for coming forward. This is the reason why we have this. But the consistency of which, I'm sorry, Chair, I don't want to be biased, no? Pero precisely you built that, well, it was the past administration, but you have this transportation hub so that you can lessen traffic in EDSA. Now, I will go to, siguro yung, meron bang City Buses Association dito? Provincial lang lahat pero gusto kong malaman kung meron ba tayong data na talagang may kulang. Kayo po, City Bus? Please come, paki-administer po yung oath and then identify yourself first, ma'am, tapos administer your oath. Dito na lang po kayo.
Magandang hapon po, Senator. Ako po si Juliet De Jesus, representing Samahang Transport Operators ng Pilipinas. Mga city operations po ang mga miyembro.
Miss De Jesus, pwede pa kayong manumpa? Kasi hindi pa yata kayo nasama kanina.
Opo, nandito.
Sige po.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jesus, kayo ba, ano ba yung ruta ng mga bus ninyo?
Sa city operation po, dalawa po ang ruta. Isa pong EDSA and non-EDSA.
Okay. Masasabi ba ninyo na talagang, hindi ba dapat, meron na ba kayong direktiba na mag-intay dun sa PITX para kumuha ng mga pasahero galing dun sa South o sa probinsya?
Meron po, pero ang ruta lang po na pinapapasok po doon yung Baclaran, tsaka yung manggagaling ng Mall of Asia. Tsaka po yung Quiapo, going to Baclaran.
So, hindi yun yung ruta ninyo, pero may mga kilala ba kayo sa ruta na yun?
Opo.
Na city buses?
Opo.
Okay. Masasabi ba ninyo na kulang talaga ang mga city buses na sumasalo dun sa mga pasahero galing sa south?
Sa panahon po na to, may nag-report po sa akin yung association ng Quiapo na talagang sila po pinapupunta ng MMDA sa PITX para po mag-ferry ng passenger na manggagaling ng probinsya. Pero meron pong nagsabi na nag-research po sila, siguro mga 3 araw na monitoring, punta sila ng umaga, wala po silang nakukuha ang pasahero. Ngayon, ang effect po nun sa mga Quiapo operators, mawawala po sila ng driver at conductor dahil wala naman pong pasaherong nakukuha sa PITX.
Okay. Dahil nga, pinigil na at yung mga exemption, yung mga ibang mga bus nakakapasok na ng diretsyo, kaya hindi na nagbababa sa PITX. Ganun ba sa tingin ninyo?
Hindi po ako makapag-comment doon, pero meron pong isang Quiapo bus operator na nagbanggit na instead, kasi po ang Quiapo, papunta po ng Loton, tsaka papuntang Quiapo. Ngayon, meron pong isang parang alabang Loton po yung ruta na considered na talagang sa PITX pupunta, yun po yung nakakakuha ng pasahero. Tama-tama daw po yung 3 monitoring nila na araw, merong 5 pasahero, napunta pa ho dun sa isang bus company na yon. Kaya ang nangyari ho, yung loss of diesel, tapos yung income po ng mga driver, siyempre ho, may mga quota ho yan sa company. Kaya parang nahihirapan po sila. Pero wala po silang objection Pagpunta ng PITX, napakaganda po ng lugar. Kaya lang po, yung number ng pasahero nang ini-expect nila para humadala nila sa Loton or sa Quiapo, yun po medyo konti po.
Oo nga, alam mo, Chairman, salamat Mama. Kasi Chairman, ganito yun, yung mga in-exempt po ninyo, yun po yung nagdadala ng bulk ng mga pasahero. So natural, walang pupuntang mga city buses doon, kaya nagkukulang. Anyway, sir, sige, go ahead.
This is about policy. That's precisely why we're trying to understand the DO. Among the things that we have discussed with Secretary Togade, even and not only on a one-on-one basis, but even in a DOTR management meeting, sinasabi niya ganito, and this is how I would also understand it from the point of view of transport planning. Yung isang lugar po, yung isang Metro Manila, is defined politically by 17 LGUs. No? And the way we do planning is that we are constrained by these political boundaries. Okay. But we do know, as mentioned by OIC Yusek Mark earlier, is that when you talk about travel or commuting for that matter, people is not confined to these political boundaries. Okay. They come and go, even they would actually live outside of the periphery of the political boundaries of Metro Manila, and that's precisely why DO25 defines other areas outside of in Bulacan, in Laguna, as well as in Cavite, having to understand what we call daily commuting. Ibig sabihin, pang-araw-araw na biyahe. Hindi po ito yung probinsya na may kakailanganin kang bibisitahin or magbabiyahe. So basically, it's daily commuting. So we need to understand that when you talk about daily commuting, it's really beyond the political boundaries of Metro Manila. And having said that, it just so happened that the first ITX has just been inaugurated in Parañaque, and that's precisely why we're addressing this. No? And we thank the good senator for having to bring this out. No? Now, that said, yung pagkikilala natin tuloy doon sa pagde-define kung saan yung boundary ng provincial routes to distinguish it from the city routes, nag-expand na po. Yung MC20 followed the political boundaries of Metro Manila, kung saan any routes that ends up anywhere outside of Caloocan on the north, Quezon City on the northeast, Muntinlupa, and in Parañaque. Anything beyond that is provincial route. Yung ganong klaseng konsepto po, wala na po yan. It's really something that we cannot agree on because we know that transportation planning is dynamic. We need to understand how people move, where people move, and when people move. And that's precisely why consistent pa rin po DO 2017-11, DO 25, MC20, and even MC22. Consistent pa rin tayo sa lahat ng bagay on that fundamental concept, which is to define provincial route, distinguish it from the city route. Lumalaki na yung tinatawag nating metropolis, yung tinatawag nating Greater Manila area, which cannot be limited by the political boundaries of the 17 LGUs.
No,
Yun
we're
po
not
ang
even-
sinasabi natin dito.
Yes, sir. So I see your point. The political boundaries and the perceived notion that Metro Manila is just a few cities. It's actually expanded outside. But my point is nga, decongestion, di ba? And also, it's also acclimating, disciplining our passengers that from a certain distance, there's a point where they can transfer para hindi masyadong puno. But, okay, this is in the interest of study pa because bago pa lang itong PITX. Pero, because of the change of policy, when they came in with the BOT agreement with the government, that was the understanding, di ba? If you take all of those exemption of the buses, talagang walang matitira sa PITX dahil yung mga ibang buses, sasabihin nila, bakit sila meron, kami wala? Eh di, papasok na lang kami ng EDSA, hulihin nyo kami. Kung hulihin nyo kami, at least kikita pa rin kami. So, I'd like to hear now the opinion of the, sino ba, bus association muna ng provincial. Sino po sa inyo? Ay,
Magandang hapon.
o sige, ano ba sa tingin ninyo itong PITX na to? Paki-explica nga po
Ay,
yung sa opinion nyo.
dapat po sana ang stand po ng PIBWAP, sana ang nangyari sa PITX, hindi mangyayari sa North o sa iba pang mga lugar. Pag-aralan ang epekto sa mga pasahero, pag-aralan din kung mababawasan ang pamasahe, kung puputulin ang ruta at magbigay ng guidelines sa exemption. Yun lang po.
Okay. So, ang sinasabi nyo, talagang dapat pag-aralan yung pamasahe kung magkano, di ba? Kung,
Opo, dahil nakakahirap sa mga pasaheros na magbabayad ng diretsyo kung mapuputol ang ruta nila.
o kaya nga, di ba, yung tinatanong ko kay Chairman Delgra kanina, sabi ko, yung biyahe nila napuputol pero pareho pa rin ang bayad, di ba?
Opo.
Hindi naman, kasi nga yung fare matrix, so dapat nakapaskil yon. Mr. Manalo, ano po yung, nagagamit ba ninyo yung PITX? Ano pong posisyon ninyo dyan?
So magandang hapon po sa inyo, Your Honor. So nagagamit naman po natin yung PITX sa ngayon. Kaya nga lang po, wala po kaming maisakay pa ng Cavite. Kasi ang pasahero po ay hindi pumupunta ng PITX kasi meron na nga po sila masasakyan sa Ayala, sa Loto, sa EDSA, papalit ng Cavite. Actually, sa totoo na lang, Senator, kami po sa ngalan ng Cavite Batangas Transport Service Cooperative at ng United Cavite Provincial Bus Association, hindi naman po kami kumakalaban sa ating gobyerno, but po ito po yung aming pang sinusuportahan Sinusuportahan po namin ang proyekto ng ating mahal na Pangulo Rodrigo Roa Duterte na tanggalin ang mga nagpapatraffic sa lansangan ng Manila, paluwagin natin ang kalsada sa Manila. So kaya po itinayo yung PITX na yan. At yan pong PITX na yan, na megawide pa nung unang pinakilala sa amin, yan po ay nagkaroon sa aming mga operator ng konsultasyon. Kung hindi po ako nagkakamali, 5 to 6 consultation po sa amin at yan po ay natanggap na namin. Ang huli pong consultation niyan ay nangyari po sa Maxa Restaurant, doon po sa Quezon City Circle. At talaga pong inasahan na namin yan. At bago pa po magbukas yung PITX na yan po tanggap na ng lahat naming mga operator na talaga pong pag nagbukas yan, dyan na po kami. At kung natatandaan po, na ni na Chairman Delgra, ni na Yusek Mark, na nung pong huli tayong nag-meeting sa MMDA, kasama natin si General Almaden, ang date po noon ay November 6, 2017. Na pinakikilala nyo po sa amin na yung mega wide na yan, after na mayari yan at magawa, dyan na po kaming lahat, wala na pong makakalampas. Kaya nga po, namas ko kami sa inyo noon, noong November 6 na yon. Sabi namin, baka naman po pwede na hanggat hindi natatapos at nabubuksan yung PITX na yan o yung mega wide na yan, kami ay palampasin muna at makapagserbisyo kami sa aming mga pasahero sa aming mga sari-sariling rota. Kung diretso man kami ng Pasay, diretso ng Loton, at yun na nga po naman ang inaasahan namin, at kami naman po ay pinagbigyan. Dahil hanggat hindi po nga nabubuksan yung PITX, kami po ay nakakadiretso sa aming mga destination. So nito pong nagbukas ang PITX, kami po ay sa totoo na lang, nalulugi na po ang aming hanap buhay. Kaya hindi na po naman kami nahihiya at natatakot na magsalita sa mga ganitong pagkakataon dahil ang nakataya na po dito ay ang aming kabuhayan at hanap buhay. Paano pa po kami mabubuhay ng maayos niyan kung masyado na pong malaki ang nalulugi sa amin? Isipin nyo po, pasahero no, mga nakakadiretso, kahit na tayo ng mga pasahero, kahit na makasabit na lang yung paa nila sa istribo, sumasakay sila at sumasakay sa mga bus na nakakadiretso. Samantalang sa amin po, wala po kaming maisakay. Pag PITX lang ang signboard namin. Minsan po, magsa-signboard kami ng Loton. Pagdating po ng PITX, papapapain po lahat yung pasahero namin. Tapos, pinadediretso din po kami sa Loton o sa Ayala, sa Pasay, nang wala po laman yung bus namin. Basta po yung mga pasahero...
Bakit na papababain nila doon pero papapasukin rin kayo?
Opo, kasi po, hanggang doon daw lang po yung rota namin. So kaya po minsan naiinis din kami at naiinis yung mga empleyado namin kapag tumambak na po yung pasahero sa PITX, lalong-lalo na po kapag rush hour sa umaga, nagrereklamo po yung mga pasahero dyan, nagmumura, nagagalit, pati po yung mga empleyado namin, Senator, minsan napipitsarahan na, yung pong nadadakot sa damit, sa dibdib ng mga pasahero, na kung tawagin po, nakukwelyuhan.
Oo.
So minsan uutusan naman kami na maghatid daw kami sa Loton, sa Ayala ng libreng sakay. Pinababa nila sa PITX, tapos papahatid ho sa amin ng libre. Pag po nagbaba kami dyan, napipilitan po kami mag-refund ng pamasahe sa pasahero. Wala na po halos ding matitira sa koleksyon namin. Kaya nga po, kahit noon po sa Congress, yung ipinapaliwanag ko po, at pinaliwanag ko din po yan kay Yusek Mark noon pong November 14, noon pong mag-meeting tayo sa PITX, na yung pong...
Paki-wrap up na po, may tatanong ako sa inyo eh.
Opo.
Oo.
Noon pong nag-meeting kami doon, sinabi ko po na masyado pong apektado na yung pong aming rota kung ikukumpara po sa norte at saka sa south. Kasi yung pong sa south, nagkikita-kita lang po sila dyan sa expressway at saka ganun din po sa norte. Samantalang sa amin po, yung pong silang Dasmariñas, Imus, Bacoor, dyan din lang po kami nabubuhay.
Okay. So, tatanungin ko kayo, Mr. Manalo, kung walang mga exemption, no? Kung naging maayos yung pagplano, halimbawa, lahat talaga ng mga bus galing sa South, titigil sa PITX, tapos may city buses, o kaya jeepney or UV Express na sasalo, okay ba sa inyo yon?
Yes, ma'am. Kasi nagawa na po namin yan noon pong panahon ni Chairman Francis Tolentino. Noon pong August 5 nag-open, August 6 na, August 5 po nag-dry run kami, August 5, 2013, nag-dry run po kami sa Sweep, yung pong Coastal Mall Terminal dati. August 6, totally wala na pong pinalampas sa amin yan. So naging successful naman po, kumikita po kami doon kasi andun po lahat yung pasahero. Andun pa, hanggang doon lang po kami naghahatid. And then yung po mga city buses, umiikot po lahat doon. Nakukuha po naman din nilang lahat ng pasahero eh.
So parang sapat naman yung city buses kung maayos lang na doon lahat ng pasahero sa PITX?
Yes po ma'am, sapat po yan. Kaya lang po, hindi lang po talaga siguro na ipa-implement ng maganda at saka hindi po siguro na abisuhan lahat ng mga operator din ng city buses na dumiretso ng PITX. Kasi ang kaibahan po talaga noong PITX ma'am kaysa po doon sa Swift, kung ang pagbabasihan po natin at ang ating pagbabatayan ay yung kapakanan at komportable ng mananakay at ng ating mga pasahero, abay, napakaganda po ma'am ng PITX para po itong isang airport. World class na airport. Kauna, pinagmamalaki po yan ni Secretary Tugade noong pong inauguration noong November 5. Nakauna-unahang land port terminal dito sa ating bansa. Dito, convenient ang pasahero, merong nursing room, merong, kung gusto raw magpadede noong mga may anak, meron hong kwarto na pwede silang puntahan para magpadede. Maayos ang security, malamig, may wifi. Bakit ho natin hindi tatangkilikin to, ma'am? Kung kesa makita natin na yung mga pasahero natin, nagkalat lang ho dyan sa Baclaran, nagkalat ho kung saan dito. Ang punto ho namin, ma'am, dito, kaya po kami talaga nakikiusap din sa ating mahal na Pangulo at sa inyo pong mga namumuno dito sa ating bansa. Paano po naman kami tatangkilik sa PITX? Kung dyan din naman po kami mamamatay ang hanap buhay namin. Kasi wala po talaga kaming kikitain, ma'am.
Alam mo, naintindihan ko kayo. Alam mo, Chairman, ang dinig ko rin, ang dinig ko nung nagkaroon ng inauguration ng PITX, masaya ang presidente. Nakita niya kasi na parang nagkakaroon ng progress, no, pagdating dito sa mga transportation. Sa tingin ko, nagkulang tayo sa information campaign para mag-synchronize lahat, no? Kaya nga ito period of study, 'di ba? Hindi ko alam, mabuti naman nilagay niyo diyan na temporary lang naman 'yan, 'di ba? Yung mga exemption na 'yan. And I will number one, kailangan natin ng fair matrix para hindi talaga magkalituhan. Pangalawa, kausapin ng mga city buses na talagang mag-coordinate na sila ng punta doon, pati yung mga UV Express, ganyan. At saka yung mga in-exempt ninyo, kasi sinasabi ninyo 179 lang, no, per USEC de Leon, pero 159, pero 355 yung actual kasi meron pang Jasper Jean, San Agustin.
Yung Jasper Jean po kasi, dati na talaga yung city bus operation, so hindi siya kino-convert, hindi siya in-exempt. Dati na po talaga siyang
pero
city bus operation. Pero galing din siyang south? Galing siyang south. Existing franchise niya is already city bus operation. Yun po yung...
dapat wag na siya manggaling sa south.
Hindi po,
kasi
hindi
unfair naman yun. Dede lahat sasakay ng Jasper.
Yung pinakita ko pong old department order, dun po siya nasasaklaw, ma'am, na yung mga city bus operations, inutusan na magkaroon ng mga terminal outside of Metro Manila. So yun po, yun, napilitan yung Jasper Jean noon, during that time, na maghanap ng terminal outside of Metro Manila, napunta siya sa Dasmariñas, and pinayagan siya, according to that department order, to pick up passengers along the way.
We have to study the franchise of that, kasi hindi pwede naman, meron kang city and provincial at the same time. Teka muna, I'd like to give Attorney Lizada a chance for closing, kasi you'll have to go, I understand. Go ahead, ma'am.
First of all, I'd like to thank for Senator Poe for allowing all of this to come out. If I may address the OTR, ma'am. Sometimes we are good on paper, ang mga policies, but we need to conduct consultation to determine whether our policies are good on the ground. That is when we need to have a dialogue and consultation. Let us not forget that crucial to any government project is the cooperation and the participation of the private sector. When Megawide they entered into a concessionaires agreement. Nowhere in their plans did they see it coming that a month before their inauguration, rules will be changed. Would they have invested 3.5 billion to this project had they known that somewhere before the finish line or towards the finish line, you change the rules? This is not a good message to our investors because there is no stability if we do this. For LTFRB, Chairman Delgra, and for DOTR who are here, our stakeholders are our partners. I agree sa policy that we resolve traffic, pero wag ho tayong masanay sa mga shortcut. Ang mga denomination ng bus, ma'am, sila ho yung pinakatahimik. Sila ho yung, if you want to ask something of them, they give. MRT, alalay sa mga strike, alalay sa MRT, they're there. But if you hear them starting to complain, meron sigurong masakit na masyado rin sa kanila on their end. We say modernization, sila Mr. Manalo, they bought buses. They have invested millions. And their projection is hanggang Loton sila. Now, ginawa nating PITX. But they still agreed. Kasi pantay-pantay lahat, walang pinaboran. Now comes MC022, favoring others. It is not fair to them because they do a computation. For us, political appointees, we come and we go. They stay. They remain with their debts. They remain with whatever it is, policies na ginagawa natin. So yun lang ho ang sa akin. Let us listen to them. Let us have a dialogue with them. Not only intellectually, but we have a dialogue with them. We use our hearts kasi iba-iba ho ang denomination ng LTFRB. Iba ang concept when you talk to drivers ng jeepneys, iba ho sa buses, iba sa UV, iba. You cannot have a one formula dialogue for all of them. Iba-iba po. They are very good, ma'am. The transport leaders are very kind and very good. Let's just have a dialogue with them para everything is transparent. And I would like to thank you po really for being the haven of probity, honesty, and truth. Thank you for this opportunity, ma'am.
Well, Attorney Lozada, I'd like to say that you will be missed, not necessarily by me, but the different transport groups as well as the passengers. Thank you for clarifying so many issues that confused us. And I think the President put you precisely in the civil service because now you will oversee all other government officials. I hope that somebody is listening for the President so that he knows that you are doing this precisely because of the campaign of the President to help the people and to be against corruption. I'm not saying anybody's corrupt, okay? I am just saying that it's good to have a voice like yours in any organization. And I hope that the civil service will lend you to us every now and then as a technical expert should we have any questions. But I would like to clarify with regards to your claim about the fraud, the falsification. We will have to have probably a court decide on this matter. I mean, or we'll have to look further into this. But I see the intention that you have here, and we thank you.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, ma'am. You're excused. I would like to, we have to wrap up kasi soon. So I would like to hear the presentation of Megawide. Megawide, meron ba kayo o wala lang? Basta lang, I'd like to, you're the one affected here, di ba? If, let's say, the capacity is 100,000, and right now, hanggang mga 2,000 to 6,000 na lang atang pupunta doon. Tama ba ako? O?
Ma'am, we could safely say definitely it's below the target, and based on our studies, it's really below the number of passengers that we expected. I think it's safe to say that it's below 20% so far.
Okay, so tell me, what is your take on this whole issue?
Well, essentially Megawide is really, we've been supporting nation building. Essentially, our mantra right now has been engineering our first world Philippines. That's why we've been building this infrastructure, including the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange. And with PITX, well, we built it for a carrying capacity of as much as 200,000. Based on our studies, latest one, we expect around 100,000 passengers per day.
And now, how many do you have?
Maximum around 20 plus. We've never gone beyond 20-30% of the expected capacity.
Okay. The point here is there's an agreement. When you entered into a BOT agreement with the government, is there a stipulation in your agreement that says that all buses from the south will actually stop at PITX?
I believe it's safe in the concession agreement that when we built PITX and we went signed with that agreement, that all the buses essentially, that was essentially the original plan.
So-
as far as we know, everything would be cut
So
at
it is
PITX.
in your concession agreement. I think
Yes,
that was also mentioned by Board Member Lizada. Meaning, at this point, if you feel that the concession agreement was violated, if not for your kind hearts that you want this to work out first, you could actually question it in court. Am I correct?
Well, that's possible, but of course,
You want to work out a dialogue
Yes.
first and a compromise. Okay. Ganito na lang, sir, kasi alam ko naman yung sinasabi ninyo. Ito yung policy kasi ng DOTR. Kayo. Okay. So gusto niyo magkaroon ng exemption na ganito, kaagad-agad nag-exemption kayo. Hindi man lang kayo nagpatakbo ng 2 linggo para makita kung yung mga city buses kayang saluhin. Basta na lang pinalitan ninyo yung nag-public hearing ba kayo? Kasama yung mga city buses na yan. Hindi, di ba? Yes or no?
We had consultations, katulad ng sinabi ni Sir Romel Manalo. We had several meetings with them. And one
No,
of
but
those...
not for the MC that was issued by LTFRB. Not that. I mean, previous hearings when the PITX was not yet operational. Am I correct?
Yes, Madam Chair. Let's put things into context.
Okay, please.
The meetings that were admitted by Chairman Manalo were the meetings prior to MC 020. There was absolutely no meeting whatsoever insofar as the Department Order 2018-025. So it would not be fair to us to allege that there was consultation.
Sir, kayo po ba sang-ayon kayo sa layunin ng PITX?
Yun po ma'am naman kasi ang PITX po para sa amin sa maliliit na operator sa Cavite, yun ang equalizer po. Mababawasan po ang gastos namin sa kalsada. Kasi maliban o sa krudo, gulong, pyesa, marami pang ibang gastos.
Pero 'di ba, sang-ayon naman kayo na kung hanggang PITX kayo, babawasan niyo yung pamasahe, 'di ba?
Napakalito na mababawas sa amin, willing po kami.
Basta lang fair, 'di ba? Lahat babawas dahil hanggang PITX. Tapos yung lilipatan, city bus naman ang sasalo nung naibawas dun sa pamasahe, 'di ba? Para pareho lang ibabayad.
Tama po.
Okay, so malinaw 'to Hindi tayo nag-public hearing dito. Bigla na lang kayong nagsabi, hindi na. Yung mga buses, hindi na, may mga exemption, tapos namili kayo ng mga bus na ito. Chairman, may pag-asa pa ba na magkaroon muna ng hearing ulit? In the meantime, sa tingin ko, patawag natin si Chairman Tugade dito kung hindi na...
Secretary Tugade?
Secretary Tugade, kung hindi niya papalitan. Kasi ganito pag sinabi natin trial period, yan, trial period nyo, binigyan nyo ng exemption itong mga buses na dire-diretso sa EDSA. Mag-trial period rin kayo kung saan yung talagang layunin ng PITX gawin ninyo. So, kausapin nyo muna yung city buses. Ilan ba ang kaya ninyong i-deploy doon sa ganitong oras, ganyan. Fix the matrix, okay? I would like to think that the reason why you gave the exemption now is you haven't fixed the matrix yet. So fix it. Fair matrix, time in motion for the city buses, etc. Okay, but I would like to speak to Chairman, I keep saying, dinidemote ko naman Secretary Tugade.
Yeah.
Baka mamaya Secretary Delgran ang tawag ko.
Yes. Ma'am, Secretary Tugade already instructed us, even on radio kagabi, na he is very much willing to reconsider yung department order, review the department order in the light of the many considerations, mga issues at hand. So, ang hiling lang namin is to run the system based on that DO. The current numbers clearly show na yung mga buses natin doesn't use PITX. The red line shows less than 5 buses departs from PITX every hour.
I'll tell you why. Because they're all going in Metro Manila because they see the others and your enforcers cannot anymore distinguish which one has the permit and which one doesn't. Okay? So ganyan. So please.
So yung statement ni Secretary Tugade, we are willing to review the department order. Sinabi niya po niya kagabi, and we will be having more consultations with them. In fact, we had the consultation with them yesterday. Si Sir August nandun. And marami na kaming nakikita mga ideas na pwedeng magamit namin moving forward for this implementation of PITX.
Because from the onset, you shouldn't have had that MC without consultation. That's why now all of these things are happening. And sana, you knew already of the PITX before the opening, sana inayos na ninyo, kinausap ninyo. Alam mo, yung opening pinakita sa TV, yung mga pasahero, naiinis kami, hindi nalilito kami, hindi namin alam kung saan kami pupunta, ganyan. Kasalanan ninyo yan, Kasi dapat, umpisa pa lang, tinawag na ninyo yung mga city buses, sinabi na ninyo sa kanila, nakaabang na kayo dyan ganitong oras. Because pag hindi kayo sumunod, kukunin namin yung prangkisa ninyo. Dahil tulungan tayo dito. Mga pasahero, magpaskil sa lahat ng mga LGU. Dito na po kayo sasakay. Ito po, may schedule po dito. Pagbaba ninyo dito ng alas 9, by 9:05, nakasakay na kayo sa isang sasakyan. At ang pamasahe ninyo hindi tataas. Ito pa rin yun. Ano ba naman yan? Hindi naman ako DOTR. Ano lang to, common sense naman to ewan ko lang, baka yun ang wala. Diba?
Yeah.
Ayokong sabihin, and I'm sorry, Chairman Delgra, we had this confrontation a while ago, okay? I see that you're between a rock and a hard place. Tama ba yun?
I appreciate the fact that...
No. I see. And you have your superiors, but we need to remind ourselves that ultimately we serve the people, and they're only there temporarily. But your legacy is more important. I mean, and I've seen this time and again, parang yung mga hindi nakakalimutan, yung mga tao na ipaglalaban mo talaga yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan natin. I want to talk to Secretary, to the Secretary. I think he himself should face us unless this is resolved before that. It is not fair. You know what message we're sending here? Aside from to the passengers, consequential lang kayo, hindi kayo ganun ka-importante. Basta, wala tayong public hearing, ito na yung polisiya. Bus drivers, magutom kayo. Bahala kayo sa buhay ninyo. Okay? Investors, forget it. Don't invest because we will change the rules in the middle of the game. Puro mali. Okay? So, sa ngayon, mag-usap-usap kayo, Titignan ko kung naghihiring ka, Yusek De Leon, na-promote ka na. Kasi yung aking kababayan ay tatakbo na sa Pangasinan. So a lot rests on you now. And I hope that you can help us, help our bus operators, and especially ang ating mga pasahero. Okay? So tapos na muna kayo. Dito tayo kay Mr. Ku sa Grab. Isisingit ko lang to, Alam mo, ang Grab nagkaroon ng issue recently dahil may isang driver na naaksidente, namatay ang kanyang pasahero. Yung driver ba na yun, buhay? Yung driver buhay. Ngayon, gusto ko kasi na magkaroon kayo ng pagkakataon na masabi din sa publiko, ano bang tinulong ninyo? Dahil alam mo, yung namatay, nakalimutan ko yung first name, De Guzman. Mr.
Marco po.
Marco De Guzman. 20 years old, about to graduate, if I'm not mistaken. Ang kanyang nanay ay byuda na, tapos meron siyang nakababatang kapatid. Yung sila na lang yung natira. Ano ang tulong na naibigay? Kasi lumalabas sa mga pahayagan, sa balita, di umano napakakulang at ang laki-laki ng kanilang medical bill. Mr. Ku, I know you're a generous person, so what's Grab doing?
Ma'am, thank you for letting us help set the record straight. There was an incident that happened along Taft last November. And what happened was the Grab driver was on the innermost lane. Dun sa Taft po, no left turn makita po dun sa CCTV, there was another car involved in the accident, which was trying to do a left turn, allegedly, based on the CCTV footage. Kaya po bumangga yung Grab vehicle. What happened after bumangga yung Grab vehicle, tumama po dun sa scaffolding ng LRT. And one of the pieces of scaffolding flew into the car and hit Marco. So it was a very unfortunate incident. A part of his brain had to be removed, hence the high hospital bills. Since the incident po, we've coordinated with the driver. We actually helped the driver also in his situation. with this regards to his bail, no. And we've also coordinated with the family to offer immediate assistance, no questions asked, of around 100,000. We didn't know the extent pa of the bill at that time, so we were prepared to give that just to tide it over for the first few days. The bill started going up, no, and we've made attempts to offer the family to help settle the bill. But being a company, we also had to think of our shareholders. We couldn't have offered an unlimited liability type of situation where we'd cover up to how much the bill goes. Last November 27th, November 26th, we've actually helped pay a portion of the bill to be able to continue the care of Marco, because the hospital, I think, requires a 30% settlement of the bill before they can continue coverage. So we've helped covered up to that extent, no, on the 26th. Unfortunately, on the 27th, Marco passed away, and he was buried last Monday, no. But throughout the whole time, we've been trying to coordinate with the family to offer them to help settle
How
the
much
bills.
so far have you given, Mr. Koo?
As of the 26th, we gave up to 500,000.
But the bill amounts to how much?
The bill at the time when we assisted was at 2.9 for the hospital bill.
Oh, yun din eh. Hindi kaya nag-overcharge yung hospital dyan?
Hindi na namin po tinanong yun.
Hindi na nga. Pero ganito, magkano ba? Hindi, kasi 'di ba, parang imagine mo kung mahirap ka tapos hindi nga nabuhay yung pasyente. 2.9, ilang araw ba siya nandoon?
Around a month. I think there was a 20th day.
Isang buwan din?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ganito, Mr. Koo, yung gusto ko lang malaman, ano ba yung insurance ninyo para sa mga pasahero nyo at driver? Ano yung maximum ninyong liability insurance ng Grab?
Can I defer to Leo Gonzalez?
Yes, Mr. Gonzalez, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Our TNVS drivers, some of them, as the LTFRB chairman is aware, some are under PAMI. Those that do not have PAs or CPCs do not have PAMI insurance. For either, both with PAMI and without PAMI, we provide an insurance coverage that is greater than what PAMI provides. For death, accidental death, it can go up to around 440,000. And for injury, it all depends on the gravity of the injury. So yun po, that's an insurance coverage that is taken care of by Grab, not passed on to either driver or passenger, but covers both driver and each passenger in any accident.
Okay. So this is actually in terms of insurance coverage, you're actually compliant with the requirements of the law, in short, and even exceeding it. Pero syempre, may mga ibang aksidente kung saan malaki talaga yung gastos that exceeds kung ano man yung nako-cover ng insurance ninyo or any other public transport for that matter as required by law. I think we had this hearing wherein na-renew namin yung insurance, di ba? Ano nga yung PAMI? O kasi dati, parang yung sa PAMI, pag merong death hanggang 200,000 lang, we were able to raise that to 500,000. That's to 400,000. Tapos pag injury dati, magkano? Dati, 20,000 lang. Ngayon, naging 100,000. That's the normal. That's the norm. But you're saying yours is actually even higher than that. Am I correct?
Yes, Madam Chairman.
Okay. Here's what I'm saying. Of course, the reality of business is there. Your shareholders, etc. But you're dealing with lives, and this is the first time also, because of technology, that there's such a thing as a big umbrella organization and many other drivers under you, right? Maybe because the kindness of your heart, with the help of the other drivers, you can put up a trust. Ay, nagturo pa ako no? I mean, just an idea. Parang from them, I mean, if you have an extra profit, you put it in your trust so that the things that cannot be covered by insurance, you get from there. Di ba? Kasi, syempre, if we just stick to what's required by law, minimum talaga yan. Pero, sa kaso ni Mr. De Guzman, talagang kulang. So, kung meron kayong trust, siguro other drivers who knows that maybe at some point they might be in need also of such, they can contribute, or you yourselves, when your profit goes higher than forecasted, you can also put in that trust. Something like that, right, Brian? Since
ma'am.
anyway, you're also thinking of managing some PU, public utility jeeps, right? This
Yes,
will
ma'am.
also help the drivers.
Okay.
So thank you for being here, just to clarify that, and I hope that you'll find donors that will be able to help the family still.
We will continue to assist the family. We're still in touch with them naman po. We're not trying to shy away from any obligations that we have.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
For the assurance. Now, yung last na lang dito sa PITX, no? MMDA. May MMDA ba dito? MMDA. Alam mo ba yung mga itsura ng mga buses na hindi talaga dapat lumagpas ng PITX?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Wala pong distinction. We have to look at the franchise po to determine kung na-shorten po yung kanilang
Paano mo
routes.
makikita yung franchise? Pati tigil nyo.
Yes, ma'am.
Ay, di talaga. Hindi ka galing. Di ba minsan meron LTFRB franchise number, ganun kaliliit di ba? So kailangan muna ng magnifying glass ng mga MMDA para malaman kung ito ba yon. At saka meron ba silang listahan ng kompleto. That's why it's not practical Di ba? Oh, Yusek.
Ma'am, na-discuss na rin po namin yung issue na yan, no? PITX will be coming up with markings, clear markings to identify kung sino yung city bus routes or yung provincial bus operations. And they will be coming up with that markings in the next 2 days or so.
Teka muna. Ang usapan natin dito ay ito, na huwag kayong magbigay ng exemption nga. Kung provincial, ang city buses, yung mga city buses dito. So don't think of putting up the sign. Di ba ang pinag-uusapan nga natin, i-roll out muna ninyo according to planned. The main intention of having a PITX, which is they'll end there and then city buses will commence from there. Iniisip mo naman ngayon, tuloy nabubuko kita, wala kang balak
Ma'am, yung instruction lang po kasi ni Secretary Tugade is to run the DO in the meantime while we are reviewing po kung ano yung kailangan na amendments.
Okay. Gaano katagal nyo kailangan i-run to?
Probably 3 months. Yun po yung
sobra
sinabi
naman.
ni Secretary Tugade. Yeah.
Okay, alam mo, ako wala akong problema magkaroon ng hearing ng Pasko dito Although ayoko talaga. Dahil wala naman, hindi kami pwede dahil suspended. Pero sa tingin ko, pagkatapos nitong holiday na to, dapat meron na kayong palit ng polisiya dyan. Or at least ngayon, Yusek de Leon, magpatawag ka na ng hearing. Para marinig ninyo lahat ng sides ng mga Tsaka, itong mga exempted buses na to, medyo, napaka naman parang anak ng Diyos yan. Di ba? Bakit naman ganun? Wala naman akong kinakampihan dito. Lahat naman, ayoko nang merong dehado. Kasi, di ba, yun naman talaga. Okay. Isususpend ko na to kasi next hearing na natin dito yung sa tracking naman. Kailangan pa ba natin si Chairman Delga? Hindi na, no? Kailangan ka pa rin to. So, ang magre-remain lang dito, DOTR, LTFRB, LTO, MMDA, at saka yung mga tracking representatives. Yung iba pwede na po kayong umuwi. Maraming salamat po. Okay. May oras pa ba?
kapag nandun ako kay Helena eh. Kaya pag-isipan ko na rin na mag-resign na lang doon. Kahit na ipagtanggol ko man kayo, mabuko man ako, wala na ako sa poder niya.